It's the year 2022 and you're thinking of buying the glorious Modular Mechanical Keyboard Pro. But it came out a year ago, which begs the question, is it still worthy of placing in your shopping cart? And my answer to that is an overwhelming yes. Not only because keyboards often have a longer product cycle, but because there is just nothing else quite like it on the market that is so mainstream friendly. So that really begs the question, how glorious is the GMMK Pro? The GMMK Pro has a 75% layout, which is slightly more compact than a 10 keyless keyboard, but it has the most essential keys onto the side here. I'll be honest, this thing weighs a lot. 3.5 pounds out of the box to be exact, giving this keyboard a very strong and hefty feeling in your hands. I mean, you could use this thing for self-defense during the zombie apocalypse. That's how tough this thing is. So let's touch on the basics of this keyboard. Glorious describes it as a gasket-mounted, build-it-yourself keyboard for enthusiasts, gamers, and professionals. The term gasket-mounted simply means what you think it does, that the internal parts of the keyboard that mount it to the frame are not physically touching any other metal parts. This produces a cleaner, more isolated sound and a more cushioned feeling when typing that isn't found in a typical keyboard. It is compatible with most Cherry MX style switches, like your Gatorons, your Kales, or the higher quality Panda switches. Those will all work here. The GMMK Pro starts at $170 for the base, and from there, you choose the components that you want, starting with your key switches that you prefer and the keycaps that best suit your style. The unique metal frame of the GMMK Pro includes customizable LEDs on the side panels for that premium lighting ambience, and it features a volume knob that has a tactile feel to it that you can customize to match a certain aesthetic that you're after. The keyboard itself produces a pleasant thok sound right out of the box. When building this in your shopping cart, you choose everything from the switches and the keycaps to the back plate that you want to use. And once it all arrives in the mail for you to assemble, it's like Legos for gamers. And don't let the whole building it yourself thing scare you off. It's all very straightforward to build. The metal frame is designed to be repeatedly taken apart and rebuilt, and you are actively encouraged to modify this thing to your heart's desire. Just make sure you have the right tools to do so. This keyboard is especially perfect for those right to repair folks out there who enjoy tinkering and repairing the products that they use every day. Indeed, the possibilities of customization here are pretty much endless with this keyboard. And this is my favorite keyboard of all time. And let me tell you why. Keyboards are notoriously difficult to review because they are so subjective to the end user that is, well, using it. It's nearly impossible to find that truly perfect keyboard. After all, one man's trashy Dell keyboard is another man's gaming treasure. Yet this is precisely why I consider this the perfect keyboard. It empowers you to create the keyboard that you never even knew you wanted. And as the saying goes, once you go custom keyboard, you never go back, or something like that. I think you know what I mean. You'll probably never settle for retail keyboards ever again. This is why I continue to stress how great this keyboard is. But you might be saying, okay, Chase, okay, we get it. It's a highly customizable, hot swappable keyboard. Enough with the buzzwords already. What else does this thing have going for it? All right, well, I don't know if you've noticed yet, but this keyboard has a stylish form factor that really helps it stand out for its compact size, and it's got gorgeous PBT keycaps that will never fade on you. It features brilliant, colorful RGBs as long as you build it with peak RGB performance in mind. Now, it may not have any dedicated multimedia or macro keys, but I've never seen any keyboards in this form factor size that do have those things. But there are baked in hotkeys for everything from controlling the lighting to multimedia shortcuts, all at the touch of the function key. You can also create your own macros in the software and assign them to specific key combinations. Just know that these are fairly simple macros and you can't do anything too crazy with them. And the best part is that if you have a specific key switch giving you issues, you can just swap it out. You don't need to throw out the whole keyboard. Once you've finished building your first keyboard, you will want to download the glorious software, which is crucial to making the most out of your keyboard. The software has come quite a long way since I first started using it about a year ago. They've made some serious improvements, so there's never been a better time to jump into the fray and build your first keyboard. As I mentioned earlier, I absolutely love this keyboard. My only real gripe is that it is rather expensive. The different customizations can really begin to add up on you fast. So if you want the absolute best keyboard, just be warned, it will cost you. However, you don't need to get everything all at once, and you can always upgrade or swap things out down the road. So I've been tinkering with this keyboard off and on for about a year now, and I've done it all. Everything from swapping out the back plates and using different switch combinations, spending weekends lubing different key switches. I've basically ran this keyboard through the ultimate chase gauntlet, taking it apart, rebuilding it, taking it apart, rebuilding it, taking it apart and rebuilding it at least a dozen times, and it held up through all of it. I'm quite impressed with the amount of abuse that this keyboard can put up with. I mean, it looks brand new, and I've definitely been hard on this thing and taking it apart tons of times. So what exactly makes this the greatest keyboard I've ever used? Well, in essence, the ease of upgrading and modding this, as well as the overall longevity of this keyboard, are just what make it stand out from the rest to me. The fact that there's always another upgrade you can perform or a new switch to install means that there is never a dull moment with this keyboard, and it's unique to you. While there are certainly other modular mechanical keyboards out there, Glorious has thrown the GMMK Pro into the mainstream like none other. Nothing is quite like it in terms of price, community, and the mod support. You can find a plethora of YouTube videos out there on how to modify this thing even more to your liking. Trust me when I say I wanted to talk about so much stuff that I could cover that this video would probably be well over an hour long. But if you do decide to pick up one of these keyboards, I highly encourage you to research the mods that you can perform on this keyboard and attempt to do them yourself. It just brings your keyboard to an entirely new level, and you will not regret it. Well, that about does it for this video. I'm Chase Evans. Thank you so much for watching. And hey, leave a comment down below if there's any keyboards that you want me to check out next. I mean, if you even want advice on building something, I'll try and answer you down in the comments below. Just leave a question down there. Thank you so much for watching. See you later.